Now, we've seen some runs, we've seen some wickets, but let's take a look at a heap of wickets.
Hattrick ball for Rashid Khan. Rovman Powell on strike. Oh, he's got the hat-trick. Rashid Khan is the hero of the Hero CPL. It's a magnificent hat-trick. The pride of Afghanistan for the Guyana Amazon Warriors. 3 clean strikes. It is simply a magnificent hat-trick.
Rovman Powell should have known better. Kumar Sangakkara was furious. The ball is coming in, it's the googly, you should have known.
Well, the pride of Afghanistan, the pride of the Guyana Amazon Warriors, the pride of any side he plays for, Rashid Khan is I mean, even as a viewer, he's such a draw, isn't he? Danny, what really makes him so special?
Well, the other thing that I love that with Sangers, we'll just jump the other end of the scale of things at the non-striker, the legend that is Sangers, saying, mate, come on, Rodman, you're a top order player. Mate, you've got to play better than this. You've got to play smarter than this. You've got to know what's going on. Having said that, this guy does get a lot of turn, and he's a little bit, not very different, I suppose, in a way. But when you look at Sunil Narayan, as Moods mentioned, they're quick. They're quicker than you think, clearly. And in this format, you've got to try and go after the bowling a bit. So that all bodes well for Rashid Khan. So he has those things in his favour. And again, the surface grips a little bit, makes it very tough. And he's just a bundle of joy, a bundle of energy. And as we just spoke about, Chris Gale clearly has a burning desire and fire in the belly to do well. And given the emotional thing around the moment with Afghanistan and prior to the disaster and tragedy that's occurring at the moment in Afghanistan, prior to all that, I mean, it's been a tough gig for Afghanistan. And to what they've achieved in a short period of time and a semi-long period of time to get test status is incredible. So I think all of that emotion comes out for Rashid, and Moods will elaborate more because he's worked so extensively with Rashid Khan, but he just brings such a vibrancy to the global game, regardless of T20, where he's made his name, clearly. But he's a really good character. Had the great fortune of being down at the T10 the beginning of 2021. We went to a resort. He came down with Sangers and DJ Bravo and Chris Gale, and we were there for 2 or 3 nights, and it really was a lovely time playing a bit of cricket in the sand, on the sand, camel riding, all that sort of thing to show off in a resort in Abu Dhabi. But again, you got to know these guys more, and you just a sense of being with them and talking with them. They love the game hugely.
No, indeed, and Tom, his what Danny said, a lot of conviction, a lot of heart. His mentality seems obviously to be incredible. I mean, I read a quote where he said that in the 100, a space of 10 balls in a row gives him a chance to take 3 hat tricks. So that's just indicative of how the guy thinks and the belief.
Yeah, look, he's what you'd call a hunter. He's in the contest. He's hunting for wickets, and his primary focus is attack, attack, attack. He's got a very unique style. Hence, he's a very tricky customer to face. He's unpredictable with his turn. Most people, and I'm meaning 99% of people, don't pick him. And it's a lot harder to pick the white ball than it is the red ball, for instance. So, he's not really been exposed. He's only played the 1 test match, I think, Afghanistan. They may have played more, actually, sorry. But the first test match against India, which was in Bangalore, he was exposed a little bit there from his bowling perspective because he was using the red ball. And I think people can pick him a little bit easier with the red ball than the white ball. The white ball, it's very hard to pick the rotation and the seam position with that white ball. So everything put together, he's a very tricky customer. As Danny alluded to, he bowls a lot quicker than a lot of people expect. But, he has got that great hunger and that great desire to succeed, not only for himself personally, but every team he walks into, he is your ultimate team player. He plays very much for the team, and he puts everything on the line for the team. He's not sort of in pursuit of his own, performances, and is not concerned about what's happening around him from a team perspective. So he's a diamond when it comes to T20 cricket, and any team that has the privilege of having him in it are better for it.
And Tom, have you worked with him at SRH? Have you had a chance to engage with him and just understand the mentality of him better as a bowler, as a T20 bowler, and specifically maybe in the death or on the middle overs to curtail runs?
Yeah, I've worked with him from the very beginning. We were fortunate enough to make the shrewd move many years ago at Sunrisers to recruit him as a bit of an unknown. Look, we saw a lot of what he was doing in the associate country matches, and you could argue that, that's not at the same quite level, standard as what you're seeing when you're playing against the major countries, which is a fair argument. But what we were seeing in all the footage when we reviewed and did our analytics on Rashid Khan was that there was something very special about what he brought to the table. It didn't matter who he was bowling to. We sort of removed the outcome, as in who he was bowling to. We were looking more at the bowler and what he was doing, and we saw someone that showed great control. We showed someone that had that little X factor about him where people were not understanding which way he was turning the ball. And we also saw a personality that had that real focus and hunger and desire. And we were very fortunate enough to see that materialise very early on in his career with Sunrisers Hyderabad, where he took to the IPL, which is an enormous pressure tournament. He took to it like duck to water, and he hasn't looked back since.
Indeed. And Danny, would you say that he would be the most feared leg break bowler today in T20?
Well, definitely, in terms of because of that pace. And he comes in and he likes to get on with the over, so he likes to suddenly race through it, and you go, hang on a minute, oh, geez, we've had four balls have gone. You know what I mean? And also, alluding to Ankita here, the question, to outthink the batsman there just recently, well, again, moves with more analytics. But having been in the commentary box and watched him, I think most of us that have played the game and been around it and seen it a lot, and moods that say will allude on this if he wants to, is that you've got to treat, if you're a right-hander, you treat him more as an off-spinner that comes back. You've got to say the googly is the more percentage delivery that you got to expect. If you're not picking him, then try and play him as a bit more of an off-spinner, because the leggy doesn't quite go as much. It goes enough, and he has to do a little bit, doesn't it? Or the toppy. You've got to watch for the top spin that skids on at you. So I think a lot of the coaches are sitting around and go, hey, listen, that's why Sangus was furious, going, mate, come on. It's going a bit short, but, mate, at least think you're going to play him as an off. He's going to come back in and attack those three things stuck in the ground made of wood. Come on. So I think from that perspective, that's where he bamboozles people. And then, of course, add that with a bit of drift and a bit of dip because of his pace through the air. Sensational athlete.
So, Tom, was that outthinking the batsman, or did the batsman just play it poorly?
Oh, look, it's easy. It's easy with hindsight, but Danny's absolutely correct. There's only one ball he was going to bowl here, and that was the wrong one turning into off stump. He hasn't got a big turning leg break, so he's not going to try to bowl a leg spinner in this situation and bring slip into play. He's going to hang the ball wide of off stump and try to bowl it through the gate. And Rovman Powell had a gate there that a London bus could fit through. And that's where I think, Kumar Sangakkara was a little bit frustrated, because he would have said to him prior to him facing that first ball, look, just play for the wrong one. So keep your bat and pad nice and tight. Play for the ball coming into you, not for the ball going away from you. And Rovman Powell, reached out, played a long way away from his front leg and left that opening, which that little white kookaburra waltzed through and knocked over the off peg.
Shocker.
And let's not forget that all of this happened in the Eliminator. So this was the Eliminator of 2017. Rashid Khan takes a hat-trick and guides his side to victory. What an amazing, amazing moment.